guys, it's Andy from MCC Just Motos. Today I'm diving into a question that has sparked a lot of debate among many riders. And that is the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 the spiritual successor to the iconic Harley Davidson Sportster? Let's get right into it. Welcome to MCC Just Motos. Here's the thing, memories are funny. You might not remember specifics about discontinued bikes, but you remember how they make you feel. With the help of my good friend Bob, I compare the final year iteration of the 2018 Harley Davidson Custom Sportster 1200 versus my 2024 Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. Is the feeling the same for each of these bikes? Does the Super Meteor carry the torch for the Sportster? I've owned many Harley Davidsons and many Royal Enfields. On the Royal Enfield front, I've owned the Royal Enfield Meteor 350, and here's the thing that really surprised me. That motorcycle felt a lot like a Harley Davidson Sportster, minus the power, but it really felt like a Sportster in the handling and the chassis feel. I was kind of shocked about how much it felt like a Sportster. A few years later, after owning that 350 Meteor, I ended up purchasing a Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. And I bought that bike because the Super Meteor 650 was the best and my favorite of all the Royal Enfield 650 motorcycles. In my head, I had the feeling that this bike really had the feels of what like a Sportster and the Sportsters that I've owned had. So in my memory, it felt very similar to the 1200 Sportster that I had. But is that the case? When I got the chance to ride back-to-back with Bob's 1200 Custom Sportster, I really changed my tune on this. Here's why. Stick with it. To understand this comparison, let's rewind. The Harley Davidson Sportster has been a staple of American motorcycling since 1957. It was affordable, customizable, and built for riders who wanted a no-frills cruiser with a sporty edge. But as Harley shifted its focus to larger and more profitable touring bikes, the Sportster era as an everyman's cruiser seems to be fading. Enter the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, a middleweight cruiser that's been making waves since its launch. With its retro-inspired design, approachable price points, parallel twin air-cooled engine, and ease of owner-conducted maintenance, it's drawing comparisons to what the Sportster used to stand for. Let's talk aesthetics. The Sportster design has always been muscular and rugged. The Custom has a larger teardrop tank, provisions for two-up riding, and classic cruiser lines. The Super Meteor 650, on the other hand, leans into a more retro British motorcycle heritage. It has tons of chrome and miles of clean paint. Both bikes are beautiful in their own way, but the Super Meteor brings a level of refinement and attention to detail that feels fresh. Where the Sportster was raw and rebellious, the Super Meteor feels like a cruiser built for the modern rider who still appreciates nostalgia. The Super Meteor 650 packs a 648cc parallel twin engine producing 47 horsepower and 52 newton meters of torque. It's enough for a single rider with sometimes two up. The Sportster 1200 Custom delivers 67 horsepower, so 20 more horsepower and a lot more torque, and you feel it right off the bat. It rips right from the get-go, and you feel it right when you twist the throttle. It is a quicker bike, even for two-up, but you definitely feel it throughout the entire frame. Here's one thing, the Super Meteor is smooth. That parallel twin is a lot smoother. I don't want to say buttery, but pretty close to it, and the bike feels planted at all speeds. The Sportster, while planted, has that signature Harley rumble and rawness that some riders love. It's a lot less refined, but that's part of its charm. The most surprising thing to me was just how much bigger the Super Meteor is than the Sportster 1200 Custom. The Custom was designed more for passengers and longer ranges than any of the other Sportsters in Harley's lineup. That being said, the Sportster feels about 3/4 the size of the Super Meteor. It's compact and thin and nowhere near as comfy, especially for larger riders or those riding two-up. The Super Meteor is larger in every dimension, is more similar to the Harley Dyna lineup, a more mid-sized bike. Performance is where things really get interesting. The Sportster Custom's 1200 brings gut-wrenching torque and raw visceral feel. But this motor is like almost intoxicating, just the torque, and so it's a little more visceral, where that's definitely a more friendly motor. The 1200cc V-twin shakes, rumbles, and reminds you constantly that you're riding a Harley. It's got loads of character, but it comes at a cost. Vibrations can wear you down. Front end feels vague on the road, and the handling is nowhere near as confidence-inspiring as you'd hope. The Super Meteor, on the other hand, feels like a bike that does everything pretty darn well. Its 648cc parallel twin is smooth and lively. While it doesn't have the Sportster's punchy torque, it's more refined and predictable. The handling is where it really shines. The lower set handlebars give excellent road feel, and the front end is responsive with surprisingly good feedback. It's not just a cruiser, it's fun to carve corners on this thing. The difference in comfort is night and day. The Super Meteor's larger dimensions and natural ergonomics make it a bike that you can ride for hours without fatigue. It feels planted, stable, and well suited to both long cruises and everyday rides. Meanwhile, the Sportster feels smaller than it looks. The thin frame and awkward air cleaner placement make you adjust to its quirks, and it doesn't quite feel as inviting for longer rides. It's raw, it's old school, and that's appealing to some, but not for everybody. Price is another major factor. The Super Meteor 650 starts under $7,000 and offers a lot of bike for the money. The Sportster, depending on the model, while not new, you can use maybe $9,000 to $10,000 for the absolute cream of the crop top models. So it actually holds its value well, and it can cost more than a brand new Super Meteor. But that's before you start customizing it. For new riders, those looking for value, the Super Meteor is hard to beat. So is the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 the spiritual successor to the Harley-Davidson Sportster? No, I gotta say no. It's not trying to be the Sportster. It doesn't feel like the Sportster. It's carving its own path as a modern, global cruiser with a nod to the past. At the end of the day, both bikes represent something special. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. What comments do you have? Drop them below. What do you think? Does it carry the torch for the Sportster? Again, drop a comment below. Huge thank you to Bob for letting me ride his bike. We'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.